Everyone, and welcome to this special workshop for the City Commission. It was brought to us by the Florida Department of Transportation. Please join me in silencing your cell phone. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Perrine?
Here.
Commissioner Martin? Commissioner Ashley?
Here.
Vice Mayor McGurk?
Here.
Mayor Cleveland?
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a quorum, so we'll proceed very soon here. Just a note, I see former City Manager Rashadat in the room. Mr. Rashadat, welcome. It's great to see you, sir. Thank you for coming. I know this issue is near and dear to your heart, and you had roots in this, and Mr. Cowper has picked it up and turned up the speed. So without ado, Mr. Manager, do you want to set this up, or do you want me to introduce Mr. Buck?
Well, you can go right ahead, but just a couple of notes. We were always happy to partner with FDOT, and they've been a great partner for us. And we have been working on a lot of different fronts with transportation and with stormwater. This whole presentation today concerns transportation and specifically State Route 44 and some of the great ideas that they have for improving the traffic flow on that corridor to improve the quality of all of our lives. So we're looking forward to hearing from them and having some discussion with you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate that. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, here for us tonight to do a presentation, Mr. Steve Buck from the Florida Department of Transportation, the District 5 Strategic Initiatives Administrator. Mr. Buck, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me tonight. Oh, he said to click it on first. I didn't do that. Okay, so thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to come speak to y'all tonight. We do have a quick little presentation to kind of go through the State Road 44 corridor planning study that we have been working on for some time now. It's really been a partnership study that we've been working on with city staff here to make sure that we're understanding the actual issues that people are seeing on the ground and not just making assumptions. So with that said, I wanted to kind of start this presentation with just kind of a base background to let everybody know. When we started this study, we realized that we had to look at the traffic in a non-standard way. And what I mean by that is normally when we look at traffic analysis for a roadway, you'll do the AM and PM peak Monday through Friday. That's when people are going to and coming from work. After, I personally visit the beaches out here, I go fishing out here, we have staff who've worked on this, who live out here. We understand that that's not necessarily the only condition that needed to be evaluated to see what we could do to improve operations. So we worked with the city staff to identify locations to collect traffic data, times of the year to collect traffic data, different days to collect traffic data on. So all of that kind of got wrapped into the analysis and some of the results that we're going to show y'all today. So it was a very heavy lift, but we felt it was important to make sure we got the true look at what the traffic was doing out here so we can make sure that any of the solutions that we had were actually going to be impactful. Along with that, we even went one step further and did what we call an origin destination analysis. We wanted to know where people were coming from in order to get to New Smyrna on State Road 44. So this is a very large graph, but I'll click to the next slide to kind of summarize what we found from it. Approximately 34% of weekend trips originate from Osceola, Orange, or Seminole counties. And so looking at that, one of the first ideas that we had, and it'll be a theme with all of these ideas, as a state, we have limited resources. So we're trying to do more with less at all points in time. So keeping that in mind, we tried to keep all these ideas to things that don't require right-of-way, don't require 2-3 year studies to then go into a right-of-way phase for another 2 years, then they go in design and take 7-8 years. We're trying to look at, using the resources that we have to make high impactful changes without having to take a long time in order to get there. And so one of those ideas was improved messaging for traffic inbound to New Smyrna Beach via blank out signs along State Road 44. One of the things that, as y'all probably know better than I do, at the I-95 northbound off-ramp, we have introduced beach closed or beach full, parking full signs at the end of that off-ramp. It's kind of the idea of expanding that out with whatever messaging would need to be displayed for weekends for blank out signs. And again, that is a large portion of traffic that is coming up the I-4 corridor. There's also an existing DMS sign on I-4 itself that we could potentially even get over to I-4 to be able to communicate with people about messaging for New Smyrna Beach. So going into a little bit more conventional solutions, we looked at the Mission, Wallace, and State Road 44 intersection. And when we looked at this intersection, obviously it is heavily congested and it is definitely a pinch point along the corridor. And so upon analyzing the Wallace Road side, so the northern side of the intersection there, what we realized there was enough existing pavement in order to restripe to allow 2 through lanes in addition to a dedicated left turn lane. And what that allows us to do on the south side is provide 2 through lanes through. So anytime we come to a signalized intersection, we care about green time. How much green time do we have to be able to process traffic? And so this gives us a way to optimize that green time in order to clear traffic. So this is not only going to help Mission Wallace, this is also going to help State Road 44 because we're able to clear the traffic quicker on Wallace going over to Mission in the southbound direction. And that way that'll provide more green time to State Road 44. Now when we, and just so y'all know, this one is truly a restripe. This is a extremely quick fix, low cost. We even talked to our maintenance folks. They could even go out there and do something like this, provided we had consensus and approvals within the next couple of months kind of a thing. It is a very low cost, but high return when we look at the operations and the capacity of that intersection. Now, if we go one step further, so this is the same image. That other image is plan view because we went ahead and did plans for it because it is that relatively simplistic. This one, that orange on the Wallace Road, that is the additional lane that we would be adding. Now, if we also add a dedicated right turn lane on 44, that's that orange colored right turn lane there, those 2 operational improvements combined give about 50% additional capacity to this intersection alone. So it is a huge return on the investment in order to get a huge return, a huge amount of capacity added to this particular intersection. This particular improvement is relatively simple. It's not as simple as restriping as the first one, simply because there are drainage and utility impacts that would need to be moved, and that does take time. We do have a 3R project that is going to be upcoming in this particular area that we could potentially work with the city about incorporating this additional right turn lane into that project, though. So it is rare that we have that mechanism that happens to line up. We do have it in this case. And we've talked about it, it could also be standalone. So the next intersection that we looked at is the Canal Street intersection at State Road 44. I know the department looked at this some years ago, and so we actually talked to the folks who were involved at the department level a few years ago about some of the issues that there were. We went with some of those concepts and some new concepts out to these business owners that we've put in a square blue box here, and kind of just try to get a feel for what their concerns are, what the options were that we thought we had on the table. After kind of talking with them about what their concerns were and basically looking at the traffic analysis, what we came up with was we actually don't need that, what I'll call as a slip lane or a bypass lane. If we're able to redirect traffic up to the signal there at Canal and State Road 44, there's a lot of operational benefits to State Road 44 without impacting Canal Street significantly. And again, a little bit of that is redistribution of that green time at the signalized intersection, but it also still provides, as you can see there, access to all those businesses without creating a lot of friction on the roadway system. Now, I'm not here to speak for those businesses. I will tell you we have spoken to them though, and they, from a conceptual level, obviously this isn't final design, they thought that this would be something that would be acceptable to them and not impede upon their operations that they have out there. And again, we have approximate construction prices. This is planning level estimate for this one because it's a conceptual level, but really it's not a lot. It's mostly pavement removal and then increasing driveways and then restriping the road that's already out there today to make it a driveway. So it's actually not a lot of work, fairly easy and straightforward to be able to incorporate into a project. And then that's just, we had 2 sets of meetings with the business owners. Another small improvement that we looked at was Colony Park Road intersection, doing some conversion of those existing lanes and moving some of the signal heads. Again, small resource needed, heavy return on the amount of throughput. I don't have a slide on it here, but I will tell you all that we also, at the Corbin Park intersection, there has been a signal warrant analysis done there. A signal is warranted at that location. We are trying to figure out how to put it in without purchasing right away. Because again, as soon as we kind of trip that right away phase, you go from, a year to 7 years potentially, depending on how much of the right away you're taking and what exactly you're impacting. So we are continuing to work on that one to see how we fit a signal in there within the existing right of way. We know it's warranted. We know we can go out there and build it, but how can we do it today and not have to wait in order to have to purchase that right away? And I believe we've made some progress on that, but that was not incorporated into this presentation. So just two more real quick ones. I believe we're improperly calling this Williamson Boulevard, but the road here on the left-hand side of the screen by the McDonald's and the Walmart out there, one of the things that we realized at this signalized intersection that we're calling Williamson and State Road 44 is we can't reallocate the green time. We have it about as optimized as we can, so we need to extend another through lane through the intersection. And that's kind of what that blackish pavement is representing. We need to pull that through lane through the intersection in order to clear that queue that spills back right now past the Shell even. And if we're able to do that, and by the way, that just merges in just left of the page here, just off the screen. So it's not a very long distance that it's there. It just allows us to clear through that intersection faster. If we do that in combination with adding a second southbound right turn lane here at the off-ramp, that would have to be signalized. But if we do those two things in conjunction and then sequence connect the two signalized intersections and make them work together in harmony, we see a lot of operational benefits for State Road 44 and I-95 interchange from that perspective. So I know I went through that pretty quick. I wanted to provide time for questions or any discussion.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I mean, my colleagues got questions. Yes, Vice Mayor.
Thank you very much for coming out tonight and presenting this. This is something everybody in the community is excited about. Been waiting a long time. Appreciate your enthusiasm and trying to get something done as soon as you can. I understand once you get into right-of-ways how long everything takes, and it's just, gets dragged down to the mud. The intersection, Mission, 44, Wallace. The key there is right turn lanes. I love what you've done. The only thing missing, I think, what I would love to see on Mission Road, a right turn lane heading north on Mission coming up to 44. That intersection is a feeder from Edgewater, a feeder from the high school, and the post office, very busy intersection. It's already, the double left turn lane is already backing up way past the turn lanes. But the straight lane mixed with a right turn lane, it's, you'll sit through that light a couple turns usually. That's a super important one. I know that it's a difficult intersection. Don't know if there's some way you can squeeze a right turn lane into that. That would be fantastic. But yes, I love what you're doing. The right turn lane going east on 44 that you're proposing, I think that is one of the biggest needs. You identified, was there another project you said that may piggyback on?
So depending on feedback from the council tonight and continuing to work with the city, we do have a resurfacing coming in this area that, yes, that could potentially piggyback on. It could be separate. It's just the utility relocation and the drainage design, it just takes time.
So there is utility relocation and drainage to deal with on that right turn lane?
For that right turn lane, yes. It's very, very minor, to be clear. It just takes time.
Yeah. Okay. Right turn lanes, most important parts of those intersections. That's what's, really stacking it up back there. I appreciate anything you can do. I can't imagine that you'll have much, if any, pushback. I think the goal is we need improvements, and anything is a start, and this is a great start. I love the creativeness, what you did with, I haven't spoken with the businesses on Canal Street there, but extending those driveways, curb cuts onto 44, I think was a great idea. So thank you for that, and I appreciate, again, you coming out and giving this presentation. This is like priority number one for a lot of people in this city, so thank you.
So, Mr. Buck, thank you again for making the effort and showing the partnership between you and the city of New Smyrna Beach. We're grateful for what you and the manager are doing. Can you scope our expectations a little bit? Love what I saw. Give us some time frames for when we might see progress and actual stuff happening.
So for something like this, which again, we do see a lot of benefits from, this is something that could progress over this summer. We actually do have the resources in order to go ahead and just do this summer, if it's something that everybody agrees on. And you will see surprisingly significant improvements from just adding that second lane because of the reallocation of the green time, like I mentioned. For the remainder of the improvements, that is something that we would need to go back and kind of maybe work with the city depending on how many resources we have and potentially prioritize which of those elements is going to come first and when. I can't sit here and tell you we can do them all at once. I'd love to be able to do that. I know there is a resurfacing job that's near the interchange that is coming to construction in 2028, I believe. And then the other one that's specifically in this area is coming in 2029 calendar year.
Okay, so let me unpack that for a second. Resurfacing from 95 in is not scheduled for in 27, scheduled now in 28.
Sorry.
That's the long strip that I
I think our understanding was that was scheduled for 26, FY 26.
Fiscal year 26, calendar year 27. Actually, you're right, but that one does not come as far east as Mission Wallace.
Correct.
Yes. So that one would be in calendar year 27. Calendar year 29, I believe, is when, which would be our fiscal year 29, is when the remainder is going to come through.
Okay, very good. And so to your point, maybe between you and Mr. Cowper, you could, go through and rack and stack these, and we'll come back. Even Mr. Cowper could speak for you and say, hey, here's what I've learned in our deliberations. That'd be very helpful. The last, it's not part of your presentation, but I appreciate you speaking about, it's the Corbin Park intersection. It's been dangerous, has some bad stats on it, and the residents there have been waiting for a while. How much more, what's involved in not having to do a right-of-way and to get some more land? And how do you have to do that, and how long could we expect that to take?
What's involved in that is realizing what we have to do in order to get comfortable with not meeting some of the engineering criteria, what we can do to make sure it's still safe while putting things closer to the roadway than normally we like to do. I believe, though, at some point we were potentially working with the owner out there, am I right? Yes, and we're potentially, do you want to speak to that? I don't.
I'm not seeing David.
Jesse's here.
So, I mean, there was a project that was associated with a development that you were working with. I don't have all the details on that, but I'm aware of that.
And I meant to get an update before I came here, but I was not able to get a hold of the person. But we are trying to work with the landowner to see if we can go ahead and get that right-of-way dedicated as part of a different job. And that way you can go where, quote unquote, it's supposed to go for the proper offsets and everything like that. But we've talked internally, there's ways to protect things to make sure they're still safe and they're just a little closer to the road than we usually like. We have a lot of options out there. We just have to go through a lot of approvals when we do stuff that's non-standard.
And you're talking about the location of the light poles in relation to the travel lane?
Yes, the mast arm and the location to the
I
travel.
know you have to have some kind of monument, and you probably have to have some concrete and a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, very good. Maybe make that part of whatever you and Mr. Cowper talk about in the rack and stack order, because that one will rank up there for sure.
Absolutely, and that one we even have identified as a standalone to go ahead and get it in.
Understand. Okay, any second time? Okay, Mr. Buck, thank you very, very much. Steve, it's a pleasure to see you. Thank you for making the effort, and thank you for what you're doing for New Smyrna Beach. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
So just to be clear,
Sure.
Mayor, Commission, the purpose of tonight was just to kind of get your buy-in on what we're doing so that they have a comfort level in moving forward with these projects. I don't think we need to vote, and I think what I heard this evening was very positive, and that the commission fully supports everybody moving forward with these projects.
We do. We do, without objection, we do. The workshop, so we can't vote. We'll vote on it in the next hour if you'd like.
No, that's
Happy
fine.
to do
That's
that.
fine. I think we're good.
But we were excited and anxious, and appreciate you pushing up the throttles to make it work
Yes, sir.
sooner. So, thank you very much. Appreciate it. You had any questions of us? We're committed.
Yep, nope, he asked it perfectly, just to make sure before we go and expend, because we are gonna go ahead and expend more funds to do at least the design work on some of these, just to make sure there's no other issues that we've identified, that would potentially increase the cost. We've been trying to be conservative with the cost, but that way it'll help us prioritize some of the different improvements, look at the different timelines, and just make sure we have everything buttoned up. So we are gonna go ahead and continue forward now, since y'all guys have that. Not committing to construction, we just gotta figure out how to prioritize these and then figure out the funding resources for the different construction pieces, but we do have the design and planning elements in place.
Very good. Thank you. The minutes will reflect that, so, by the city clerk. So thank you very much. Appreciate it. Any, now knowing what we were committing to, any other questions from anybody? Okay, very good. Thank you
Thank
so
you for your
much.
time.
Appreciate that. Anything else, Mr. Manager, for this?
No, sir, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, very good. We will adjourn for 5 minutes and start it back up at 5:40.